Recording in progress. Recording in progress. Recording in progress.
Brass.
What's up, kids? How you doing,
man? We're making it.
No bags?
No bags, no golf bags, no toiletries, all the good stuff.
Good Lord. May need to talk to the tour about sending some jets over there for you guys a couple of days.
I should have gone on the charter, but I didn't.
Where was the charter from?
It was going to the 3M.
Yeah, gotcha.
When did you go home?
You know, I left on Saturday, a little 17-hour travel day. Girlfriend picks me up at Charlotte Airport. We go straight to Bank of America Stadium and take in about an hour and a half of Garth Brooks.
Nice.
And I was whipped.
I bet, man.
It was fun though. He was great.
Yeah, it's a brutal travel getting home.
Well, especially now with all that's going on. Somebody was telling me when I was in Boston that there were like 3 or 4 huge jets that came over with no people in it, just luggage to LaGuardia.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
It's unbelievable. It's like, are the barcode system, is it not working anymore?
Hopefully I get my bags at some point.
Be nice. You came back yesterday? Or
Yeah. I got home at 6:30 last night.
What flight did you go? Did you go to Boston or did you go to New York?
I went Edinburgh to Paris, Paris to Atlanta.
Oh, nice.
Well, good morning, everybody. We'll get started in a couple of minutes. Kevin, thanks for joining us. Could you just center yourself up, please, in your screen there for the TV guys? And
Is that better?
That is better. Thank you. And everybody, we know that some of you are having problems recording. We'll have a recording which we'll send out after. We're not sure why that's happening, but we'll send it as soon as we're done. Let's wait another minute or so and see if anybody else joins.
Bobby Powell, please make sure that you wave your arms at least once in 10 minutes to keep the lights on.
That was really, really funny.
I don't know if you saw it, but it played out beautifully on air. It was pretty funny.
I did not see it. Rob, did you see that?
I haven't seen it. We'll get you a clapper so you'll be able to turn them back on.
I do appreciate that reminder, Mike.
Oh, no, it was great. Thanks for taking the time.
Well, we'll go ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone. As I said just a minute ago, some of you we know are having problems recording. We'll get that sent out. We'll get the recording sent out when we're finished here today. And also, just a quick note: the 2022 media guide is now available on the media downloads page of the website. So, with that, good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here. And Mark Brazel, God bless you, and take it over. Take it away.
Thanks, Rob. Kevin, can't tell you how much we appreciate you joining us today. We're actually about to go after this, a couple hours after, we're about to go hit Sedgefield and some pretty good heat, but the golf course is fabulous. I do want to just, it was so nice to see you at the Open. What an amazing experience. I do want to ask you a little bit about your Saturday front nine and how much fun that was.
Well, it was awesome because when I got to the course, it was warm and no wind, and I was thinking this is far from a British Open. Felt more like a Wyndham Championship, and the golf course is not overly difficult without a lot of breeze. So I knew that there was an opportunity to make a lot of birdies, and when a birdie, I think 4 out of the first 5, and you kind of just living in the moment when that's happening and enjoying it. And it was amazing because I was one of the first groups off, and there was literally nobody there. And I think I shot 6 under on the front and turned to 10, and there was just all of a sudden an influx of spectators, TV, and it was like, okay, now it's getting pretty serious. And it was an amazing experience. I played with Trey Mullinax, who was also going low, so it was nice to feed off one another. I wish I could have got a couple more out of it, but anytime you shoot 65 in a major championship, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you had a fabulous week over there, and also you won a tournament here at the Wyndham Championship last year, which from our versions of a PGA Tour event in 82 years at that point, 83 this year, that had to be maybe the greatest finish we've ever seen, just from a standpoint of, you played 2 holes and there was a 6th one going off in that playoff. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was an interesting experience. Never I've participated in a lot of playoffs on the PGA Tour and not been successful. So glad to get that out of the way and get a victory. And like I told everyone after beating 5 other guys, I feel like my record's 5-5 now, not 1-5. So no, it was a lot of fun. The crowds were amazing, even though we had that early start, and it was a lot of fun to feel like I was one of the favorites, being somewhat of a local guy.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to show me that approach shot on the 2nd hole. You gave it a little. I mean, you gave it a little kick, and I've been working on that move, and I have not been able to do it. I fell one day doing it, but you have to show me that because obviously it turned in there just perfectly. But anyway, we'll let some of the media, the pros, ask you some questions now.
Yes, thanks, Mark. None of us really wants to see that you try that kick.
Thank you.
All right, questions, guys?
Yeah, Rob, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, John Dell.
Yeah, Kevin, I wanted to ask you, a lot's changed in the game of golf a year ago since you won. What's kind of your take on all that with the division that's out there? Is that a vibe that you guys are kind of seeing in the locker rooms and things like that?
Yeah, there's definitely an interesting dynamic to the PGA Tour right now. The whole landscape of professional golf seems to be changing rapidly, and nobody's really sure where we're going to land. I don't think anybody disagrees that competition is a good thing in any business or sport, but we're not sure that we're going about it the correct way. So I think I feel comfortable supporting the PGA Tour and playing the platform that has been the most prestigious and in the golf landscape for many years. For the charity aspect and the greatest players in the world, I think it will continue to be that.
And what about defending? Are you pretty good at defending titles, or what's kind of been your take when you come back to a place like this?
I think, to be honest, I kind of stink at it. I haven't played very well defending a title, but we all know how fickle the game of golf is, and how much you got to enjoy when you do succeed. So being able to come back to a golf course like Sedgefield and Greensboro, North Carolina area, and all the great staff at the Wyndham Championship and all the great fans, I'm looking forward to having the opportunity, and hopefully I can get it rolling again this year and have a chance to defend.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, who's next?
Hey, Rob, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Kevin.
What's it like when you're headed into a playoff like last year? How do you have to turn the switch on after playing a full round? How difficult is that?
Well, last year at the Wyndham, I really didn't think I had an opportunity to win. I was a couple groups from the last, and I remember looking around 14, 15 that I was 3 or 4 back, and and I was playing well. I just, I was a few back going in and needed some help. And I think I birdied 15 and 16, 15, 16, 17 to have a chance. And really still, I think a couple back or one back going to 18, and really wasn't sure I was going to get in the playoff. And it all transpired pretty quickly, and really didn't know that there was going to be 6 guys going down the 18th. I went to the range and hit a few balls, and I think I was the last one to get to the 18th tee for the playoff. So it all happened rather quickly, and not a whole lot of time to think. But obviously, you don't think your odds are great, 1 out of 6, but you just try to go and compete the best you can and have an opportunity to win. I think I myself and everybody around thought it was over after the first playoff hole, and then felt like we got a second chance rather quickly thereafter. And to be able to hit one in there close on the second playoff hole was an awesome feeling.
Rob, I'll ask a question.
Go ahead,
Brad. Kevin, you're obviously leading the oldest and most classic of the golf courses right now, but you'll be coming here to Sedgefield, an old classic Donald Ross, and these are different than the courses you all play usually week in, week out. Can you give us some general observations about Sedgefield and what it's like to play some of these old classic golf courses?
Yeah, man, for sure. It's a ball striker's position golf course where you got to hit a lot of draws off the tee, which suits my game. It's not overly long, which is helpful for me, and the grass is very comfortable for me, being from South Carolina, growing up on Bermuda grass. So I love the greens. They're always in immaculate condition. I really feel like, putting is one of my specialties, and I can really excel there with the putter. And driving the golf ball in the fairway is a big part of playing well at Sedgefield. They get the Bermuda rough nice and juicy, and if you're out of the fairway, it's hard to make birdies, and we all know we have to make birdies at Sedgefield to compete.
Hey, Kevin, any win on the PGA Tour is a special win, is a good win. But for you, the way you won Wyndham last year, where does that kind of rank in your 4 career victories?
Well, definitely up there. Just to win a playoff, it was something I wanted to accomplish before my career was over. I didn't want to end my career with an offer in that win column. So it was pretty special. The older you get, the feeling of how many more opportunities are you going to have always crosses the mind. And when you have that opportunity and you seize the moment, it sure is special. And, Mark's a great friend, and all the people associated with the Wyndham Championship are great friends. So to be able to be their champion is always something I'll cherish.
Kevin, have you seen any residual carryover in your game? Having broken through and gotten that win, any added confidence, anything that's carried over?
Well, I tell people all the time, I'm kind of the 1% club. I've had 4 wins and almost 400 starts on the PGA Tour. So you have to really cherish the moments. And when you're in my shoes, when you win a golf tournament on the PGA Tour, obviously winning normally brings more success. You feel like you gain a lot of confidence from a win. And I've had a pretty successful year so far. I haven't been able to win again, but hopefully can knock off one of these last few, winding down to the FedEx Cup playoffs with my eyes squarely on the Wyndham Championship in 2022.
Kevin, are you at all thinking about the President's Cup at this point?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'd love to be a member of that team. I don't even know where I am in the standings currently, but I need to have a successful run in the playoffs. Basically, what I've learned is no matter how close you are, they watch those last few events with a keen eye. And if you can have a successful run, you can shoot up the standings and get the attention of the captain. So hopefully I can play well these last 5 events and gain at least some of Davis's attention to get a pick if I don't make the team.
Kevin, obviously you want to make the President's Cup team or the Ryder Cup team anyway, but would it mean more to you being this close to home than it would if it were somewhere else?
For sure. Quail Hollow is a special place to me. Both of my parents are from Charlotte. Played there a bunch of times, had a lot of success in the PGA Championship there in a few years ago. And anytime you can be on a team competition representing the country that you're from is a special feeling. And to be a part of that President's Cup team will be a huge honor for me. And hopefully I can continue playing the way I've been playing leading up to it and be a part of it.
Kevin, so many of the players that come back and play the Wyndham Championship every single year, talk about how special it is. What are the things to you that are important to you that keep bringing you back to the Wyndham Championship every year?
Well, we like a few things that drive us to golf tournaments. Got to love the golf course. We got to feel welcome, and we got to love all the things that the staff do to make us feel welcome when we arrive. And you could not have more Southern hospitality than at the Wyndham Championship at Sedgefield and Greensboro. It's a perfect marriage of Southern hospitality for a PGA Tour event between the fans, the staff, the volunteers, everyone. Just, it feels like I'm at home. So it's a tournament that is always on my list at the start of the year.
Kevin, are you a big Georgia Bulldog fan for football?
Outrageously big.
So how many are they winning this year?
Man, I don't know. I've been to a couple practices. I was actually texting with Kirby last week. We're going to hang out this weekend in the mountains of North Carolina. We lost a lot on defense, so it will all depend on how strong the new guys can step up and replicate what we had last year. We have somewhat of a difficult schedule, so I'm still looking to get into those playoffs and have a chance at the SEC Championship.
Anyone else with a question for Kevin?
I got one. You mentioned watching the scoreboard, when you were kind of coming in. How do a lot of guys really pay attention to the scoreboard, or is that too much of a distraction? What is it for you, when you're kind of coming in at a tournament? Do you scoreboard watch?
I watch it all the time when I have a chance to win. I'm not sure how else what you need to do without watching it. Whether to play aggressively or feel like you can just get by with a par. What I've learned is the better these players have gotten on the PGA Tour over my career is you got to keep the pedal to the metal. Everybody's making birdies coming in, and if you want a chance to win, you got to go out and get it yourself. And that's what I do. I look at the scoreboard, especially at the Wyndham with 15, 16, 17 all being birdie holes, 18 or more difficult holes. So you got to take advantage of those last 3 out of 4 to with some birdies to move up the board.
Anyone else? Well, Kevin, I guess we'll make it easy. I'm gonna let you get out of here, get out a little bit early. Appreciate you joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Look forward to seeing all you guys in a couple weeks.
Thanks,
Thanks,
kid.
Kevin. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.
So with that, we'll move from our executive director to our tournament director, Bobby Powell. Bobby's got a few notes, and then we'll move on to the Q&A with both of these guys. Bobby?
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Treat for us, obviously, to have Kevin Kisner back, and that playoff was amazing for sure. Not sure how we're going to duplicate that this year, but we'll definitely try. Just a couple things we wanted to talk about before we open it up for Q&A with Mark and I. As a reminder, our charitable impact reaches far and wide throughout the Piedmont Triad region, but a couple of the things we're most proud of, our backpack program that we partner with. We're at a point now where we're at 750,000 meals that have been provided since the outset. That's something we're extremely proud of to fight the childhood food insecurity issues that are pretty well documented. The First Tee of Central Carolina is obviously our primary charity that tends to get a lot of attention, and just wanted to provide a reminder that Tuesday of tournament week this year, we are back to having both of our youth clinics, the main one that we have in the afternoon that the First Tee helps run, but then also the one, the All-Star Kids Clinic in the morning over at Grandover that we run in conjunction with the Tesori Family Foundation. So we're looking forward to those events. But really, we wanted to talk a little bit about just not the charity, but the history of this event also being something that's really important to us. And even though some of you are pretty well versed in it, we think it's important to highlight our history, being one of the oldest events, dating all the way back to 1938. And as we've said before, our past champions, it is literally a who's who in the world of golf, and starting right there in the beginning with Snead and Hogan and Nelson, and all the way up through the decades, and highlighting guys like Seve Ballesteros and then Davis Love, and on and on and on. So we're extremely proud of that. Something that will always be one of the highlights for us to discuss. And then also just one of the cool storylines about this tournament too is being here at Sedgefield Country Club. We are rapidly approaching a 100-year anniversary of this golf course in 2026, which will be an interesting year. But not very many tournaments can say they're still playing the same golf course that it was born at, and we're lucky to say that. And obviously, Starmount Country Club and Starmount Forest Country Club and Forest Oaks Country Club were a part of that history as well. But to be able to return to Sedgefield is a treat for us, and for those that are going to play the golf course today. Obviously, you'll see exactly why we say that, and for those that have not been here before, you'll see it in a couple of weeks when the players are tested on it. One other thing that's kind of interesting this year. So Charlie Sifford, you're going to see this a little bit more during tournament week. His 100th birthday would have been this year. Obviously, we lost him a few years ago, but the PGA Tour is commemorating his honor on the second hole of every PGA Tour event. And if you've seen some of the telecasts, you may have noticed this, that a couple other events on the second hole, there will be a different flag. So you're used to seeing the yellow pin flags that we have on the 18 flag sticks, but on the second hole, you're going to see a different one there in honor of Charlie Sifford. So more to come about that during tournament week, but really excited that we can be a part of that PGA Tour initiative to celebrate his legacy. And then the last thing, just to talk about our field a little bit, you're probably scrolling through some of the player announcements. We've talked about JT Poston and Jason Day and Adam Scott already, but obviously this time of year, you're going to see these on a pretty much a daily basis from this point forward, with Billy Horschel and Davis Love and others to come. So with that, Mark and I are happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Bobby. If you have a question for either guy, just let us know to whom you're asking the question, and they'll do their best.
Why hole number 2, Bobby?
I believe his birthday was on the 2nd of June. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that is correct, and that is why they chose that hole.
Okay, thanks. And Mark, I wanted to ask you, I know, I think the title sponsorship is through 2026. Is that correct?
That's correct, John.
When do you start working on all that stuff, or are we a little too far out for that?
I would think that once this tournament gets over, we'll start having some conversations with Wyndham Rewards about, the future. And so, yeah, I'd say these next 18 months, probably the time frame that we'll be talking about an extension.
Because I know they've been pretty happy with everything, correct?
Yeah, they've been thrilled. I mean, Bobby Powell and I and Bobby Long and I, we talk about it all the time that, we're blessed to have Wyndham now, obviously 2 companies, Wyndham Hotel and Resorts and Travel and Leisure, represent our Wyndham Rewards title sponsor. But we couldn't be any happier with their relationship, because, I mean, they're all in. And, not only are they great partners, they're great friends. And you just don't, you start comparing that to other tournaments, and it just doesn't happen very much. It happens that several other tournaments, but I don't think there's really one that exemplifies this kind of partnership, this kind of friendship that we have at the Piedmont Triad Charitable Foundation with our title sponsor. And that goes for Truist as well.
Mark, from a sales perspective, fully recovered from COVID at this point? If that's possible.
No, I mean, look, it's kind of crazy, to be honest with you. Bobby actually, he built quite a bit more inventory this year, and we're sold out of every skybox except about 12 tickets on 18, which we will sell out. We're still selling, but we're sold out of all of our skyboxes. And again, Bobby built a lot more out on 15 this year than he did last year. And our luxury suites have been sold out for a while. The Wednesday Pro-Am is probably our hottest commodity, and that's been sold out a while. Monday Pro-Am, we sold probably 4 or 5 more teams than we do normally. So that's really looking good. So we are, I don't think we're really scratching our head over this, but we do a good job getting out there, but there's a lot of pent up, ready to go to a PGA Tour event around here. So we're benefiting from that, but I think everybody has come to know our tournament as a place to watch some incredible golf, but also to have a good time, and it's kind of you don't want to miss this week of the year.
Bobby, wanted to ask you about the course and everything. Is there any major changes, or how's that shaping up with everything getting ready for here in less than a month?
No changes to the golf course. It is still intact. A couple of years ago, the 14th tee was lengthened, so I think that's the most recent change on the golf course. And as Mark mentioned, most of our hospitality footprint is identical, with the exception of that addition that Mark talked about on the 15th hole. We just literally made it bigger. It's that simple.
I wanted to mention one thing to everybody, and this is no small deal, but Davis Love III, who has been, if he's not been our best friend out there, he's been one of them for certain. And he's a real ambassador for the game of golf and for us. But this is his 25th year playing with us, which is pretty remarkable, actually. And I'm looking forward to thanking him and celebrating this when he, I know Bobby and I are, when he gets here. And I know he's playing a couple times, maybe both weeks before us, but that's a great honor and so nice. He wins here back in 15 when he was a 51 or 2-year-old grandfather, and that was really neat. But just that Davis has been a real ambassador, great friend to us, so we're excited about that.
Well, Davis called it his 5th major coming here.
Well, it's the same thing I call it.
Hey, Mark, Mike Slarty here with Spectrum News 1. It's good to see you again, and you as well, Bobby. For Mark, kind of dovetailing off of Davis coming back to the tournament and him being the President's Cup captain and this being the last event of the regular season, there's always been a spotlight on this tournament, but with the President's Cup as well, there's probably an additional spotlight. Has Davis requested anything, or is he looking to do anything other than just kind of stay in the shadows and play as best as he can, because he has those other duties of watching to see where his captain's picks are going to go?
I definitely think he's coming in large portion because of the President's Cup, but I think he would be here no matter what. I think he'll have his eyes open, and I think if somebody, like a Kiz plays well here, or some other Americans play well here, that'll certainly get his attention. I was actually thinking about Kisner. You can't forget that Kisner was also the runner-up in the match play event this year, which probably goes a long way for him. I certainly hope he plays on the President's Cup team. He's a match play genius. But yeah, I think that Davis has probably got his eyes open to a lot of options. I think it's a little different this year. I think there are 6 picks this year. I think 6 of them make it, and then there's like 6 different picks that he has. So it's a little different this year.
Hey, Mark, from a recruitment standpoint, how has the Live Tour, has that had any impact on trying to get guys to play, to come here? You know, and do you see that as a real problem in the future?
Well, I mean, I kind of say this in jest, but it's really true. I know who not to talk to about coming. That's obvious. But you know, Bobby Powell and I were talking about this yesterday, and I just feel like we're as well positioned for this as any tournament out there. We've never really relied on just one big name or many of those guys that have gone. I mean, obviously it kind of hurts to see Sergio go, and we don't get him every year, but we get him every, you know, maybe 2 or 3 years. But we've always been about, you know, celebrating the guys that have come every year, like Webb and Brandt and Davis. Excited about Billy Horschel coming back. But with Bobby and my relationship with the AJGA over all these years, you know, we've tried to establish this tournament as the place where you can learn who Cameron Smith is, because we gave him a spot several years back, and guys like that. So we're always bringing in 3 or 4 of the next great young players on the planet, and showcasing them. They don't get a lot of time during the tournament usually, but once you start watching what they become, I mean, obviously the biggest year we've ever probably seen of this was Matthew Wolf and Morikawa and Hovland, you know, all quickly getting their card. All were here in the same year, as well as Doc Redman from Raleigh. But we're always trying to do that. We've introduced a lot of great players here. I mean, this tournament back in the old days introduced Seve Ballesteros as a very young man who, you know, kind of reshaped the game of golf, certainly in Europe. You know, I think, you know, with Webb and Brandt and so many others, Ryan Moore and others that have won their first event here, we've always kind of prided ourselves on, you know, who's next. And I think that puts us in a really good spot right now, and kind of combating the things that are going on over at the Saudi tour.
Hey, Mark, John Brazier.
Hey, John.
Or Bobby. Hi. What do we know about the 3 young Wake Forest guys that have played so well, other than Webb, about maybe coming? I mean, Zalatoris, Young, Fitzpatrick.
Alex Fitzpatrick, great kid. He is going to focus on the Canadian tour to try to get his Corn Ferry card.
I'm sorry, I meant his brother, I guess.
Yeah, his brother did not go to Wake.
I'm sorry, you're right. He went to Northwestern.
Yeah,
my bad.
His brother Matt. I saw him at the Open last week, and he came to me, and you know, we had spoken at the Memorial, and he told me he was coming, and then when he goes on and wins the U.S. Open, he's now got a conflict, which is understandable, but he couldn't have been more gracious and apologetic, that's just the stand-up guy he is. We gave him a spot, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, but he actually did something where the top 5 did or got in on his own that year, but we had given him a spot. But the other 2, you know, I'm hopeful. Both of them are playing in Detroit the week before our tournament, which I didn't love, but I'm in constant contact with both of them. I followed Cameron around on Friday, the back 9. What an incredible talent he is. Not a lot of emotion out there, and he's just doing his business, but he's a heck of a player. So, you know, look, I would love to tell you that Zalatoris and Cameron are both coming. I don't know that right now, but I certainly hope so. You got to also remember there's another plot line with our tournament, another storyline, and that is this Comcast top 10, which we used to sponsor with Wyndham, it's now gone to $20 million. So these guys have to look here in the next couple of weeks. Do I go play in the Wyndham possibly and try to improve my spot in that top 10? Because if they jump up 2 or 3 spots, they can make $300,000 or $400,000. So there's a lot going on. It looks like Scheffler and Cam are probably your numbers 1 and 2 on that, but there's still a lot of money. And I think that just about anybody that's in that top 20 would have a chance at jumping into the top 10, or the guys inside the top 10 have a chance at jumping up to, 3, 4, 5. So that's a big storyline that probably doesn't get a lot of play, but it's still $20 million no matter how you slice it. And that number has doubled since last year.
Is Tiger coming?
I think Tiger played this year out as just let's go play the majors, as many as he could.
Right.
And I don't think he's going to play any more golf, and maybe his own event on the Bahamas, but I don't see him playing any more golf. I'm sure all of y'all have read kind of the pre-workout and the preparation he has to go through. A 3-hour, deep tissue rub down everywhere for his legs, and just it's and before and after. I mean, it's rough. I tip my cap to that he has even tried it, and I really enjoyed getting to watch him at the Open. But it was, it's tough to watch him because he is certainly showing some pain.
Mark, is there any thing with Billy Andrade, former weight guy, and winning the Payne Stewart Award? Are you guys aren't planning anything that week of the Wyndham, are you?
We are not. Billy obviously plays full time on the PGA Tour Champions, and so other than texting him, which I did the day I heard about it, obviously he's a good friend of ours and was very supportive of our event for a long time. But we may, at some point, if he's in town or at Winston, over at Wake, we'll try to go see him and celebrate with him. It's a great honor. Great honor. Long overdue.
Anyone have anything else? All right, Mark, Bobby, did we miss anything?
I don't think so. I think obviously we've got some more announcements with players coming out, amongst other things, and we'll get to you guys as quickly as possible on that. You'll hear from Rob as we go. So just thank everybody for your time. We look forward to seeing you out here later today if you're going to play golf with us. And obviously, if you need anything, you certainly can call any of us, but certainly, Rob's your first call.
All right, guys, thanks so much for joining us this morning, and scream if you need anything. And again, the media guide is now posted on the website on the media downloads tab, and the oh so clever password is Wyndham Rewards, all lowercase, no special symbols. But scream if you need anything. Otherwise, we'll see you in 2 weeks for the Wyndham Championship. Have a nice day.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everybody.